Winter moved slowly into spring, sluggish as a toboggan in deep, soft snow. The snowdrops were the first sign. The vernal equinox had come and gone, but it was still winter where the Lamberts lived. A fierce March wind peppered with ice crystals nudged Phil's skinny body into the warmth of the country kitchen as she pushed open the weathered back door from the woodshed. Coffee steamed and oatmeal bubbled on her mother's white enamel cook stove. "Phyllis, where is your father?" Lavina had meticulous timing, but not a lot of patience. When breakfast was ready, she expected her family to be present, seated at the table. "He's coming," said Phyllis, who sometimes helped her father with morning barn chores when she didn't have to catch the school bus. "There's a new calf." Stanchions fit loosely around cows' necks and opened and closed like huge safety pins. The animals could stand, lie down, and move a little from side to side, but backward and forward motion was limited. Irwin's small barn did not have a birthing area, so when a cow calved in the barn, it happened in the stanchion, sometimes with the mother still standing. Calves made messy appearances after much grunting and hard breathing on the part of the mother. Phyllis was flabbergasted the first time she saw a cow give birth. Not that it happened, but that something as big as a calf could fit inside the cow's body. Sometimes Irwin had to reach inside the mother cow with his bare arm to straighten the calf. Phyllis thought it was funny, seeing her father straddling the gutter, leaning against the cow's rear end with his right arm inside the cow. Sometimes he tied a rope to a calf's legs to pull it out, but usually the slimy, bloody calves slid out with the cow's last grunt and push of labor. Irwin cut and tied the umbilical cord, washed the calf that was struggling to stand up with warm water, and moved it to the calf pen, where the older calves eyed it with curiosity. Smelling the blood, stealthy barn cats appeared from all directions, eyeing the afterbirth in the gutter. Tearing at the mass of tissue, they ran away with pieces of the delicacy. Irwin recorded breeding dates as best he could by ear tag number in a small farmer's pocket ledger, compliments of N.G. Depoletti and Sons, Canastota, New York. The small almanac held useful information for farmers, a detailed list of John Deere farm equipment, and blank pages for stock breeding records. He kept the stained, fly-specked little notebook on a barn window sill next to the teat ointment. He had a good idea when each calf was expected and kept a close eye, especially on first calf heifers. If labor seemed difficult or took too long, Irwin summoned a veterinarian. The vet sometimes shoved both arms up the cow's birth canal. An occasional dead calf, poor thing, lay lifeless on the barn floor. Black Sam, the Jewish cattle dealer, took the bodies, and Phyllis wondered what he did with them. Lavina said maybe they were processed into dog food. Fresh cows, new mothers, were not allowed to nuzzle or nurse their babies. They strained in their stanchions, rolling their eyes, bellowing and contorting their bodies, trying to see their calves. Sometimes twin calves were born, which was twice as amazing to Phyllis. Milk cows were bred back every year in order to continue milk production. Healthy heifer calves were kept and raised, bull calves were sold. Summer calves born in the pasture had the luxury of spending a few hours with their moms before Irwin went looking for a calf that did not appear at the barn with the herd. Irwin picked up the calf and loaded it on a wagon, taking it to the barn. Phyllis usually went along. The desperate mother ran along the pasture fence as fast as she could, her distended udder swinging from side to side, with milk dripping from her teats. The distressed animal bellowed in such a mournful way that Phyllis wanted to cry. The mother cow's rich milk, called colostrum, was fed to the new calves for the first few days. Colostrum contains antibodies to protect the newborn against disease, as well as being low in fat and high in protein. Calves were taught to drink by forcing their muzzles into a pail of warm milk while holding one hand under the milk with fingers pointed upwards. The calves naturally sucked the fingers, with much slurping and drizzling, and swallowed milk at the same time. Soon they were drinking from a pail on their own. "It's a bull calf, darn it," Phyllis said. "I'll get him to suck after breakfast." Phyllis was sad because she knew Black Sam would buy the bull calf for somebody's veal cutlet. "Oh dear," Lavina lamented, sticking a spoon into the oatmeal. "It's too thick." She spooned congealed cereal into her daughter's bowl. Phyllis added creamy milk, brown sugar, and raisins. She turned up her nose at the small bowl of slimy homemade canned rhubarb sauce that was supposedly so good for her. Maybe so, but it was terribly sour, even though her mother added sugar. Donna, her sister, sat in the second-hand high chair that Aunt Marie had delivered, stuffing small pieces of toast into her mouth. "Be happy you don't have to eat rhubarb," Phyllis whispered. Was there any sign of snowdrops under the lilac bush? Lavina was anxious for the appearance of the delicate white bell-shaped flowers that bloomed in the snow. Everyone in the family was expected to keep the vigil. Phyllis had forgotten to look that morning. "I wish your father would hurry. The coffee will be like mud." She gave the oatmeal another stir, removed her glasses, and wiped her face with the hem of her apron. It was hot work, cooking over a coal stove, and Lavina was prone to hot flashes. Her face had a moist, rosy glow as she forced air upward from her mouth like a bellows for relief from the heat. She poured a cup of coffee, propped herself into a chair, drummed the table with the fingers of one rough hand in exasperation, and pushed damp, graying hair off her forehead with the other. Lavina would not admit she was tired of winter, because she always claimed to love the season, but she was showing signs of winter weariness. "The problem with life," Lavina sighed, "it's so daily." Phyllis did not yet understand what her mother meant, but the time would come when she would. The door opened and Irwin walked into the kitchen, accompanied by a blast of frigid air. Snow stuck to the brim of his denim cap, but he had a smile on his face. "What I got, Ma?" He held a small bunch of delicate white flowers in his leather gloves. "Snowdrops," Lavina whispered. She whispered it like a prayer. Spring could not be far behind.